The update to Twitter Spaces.
I have very
Yeah.
recent. So sorry for those who are joining. We're getting ready to start the show. I ran a session at the recent M365 Chicago virtual
Hmm.
conference, and I thought, rather than trying to run an extended Q&A in my room, that I would schedule a Twitter space. And Daniel, so what I saw when I did that was there was this option now to be able to record the Twitter space. It felt like by being able to do that, that I was almost creating a podcast that you
Yeah.
could go back and listen to.
And it keeps it for 30 days, I think,
Yeah,
the recording.
yep, that's right.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about using it. We could use it if, individually we could. If you see something or an announcement or whatever, and you're like,
Mm,
hey, people need to know about this, you can go ahead and just pop on there for 5 minutes and talk about whatever that is and give your opinion, and people could join if they want. But in
yeah.
the end, it'd be something that is there for a few days. And
Mm. I
yeah.
know that we tried doing something like that after the show to sort of expand on it, but yeah, that as an ad hoc way of I've got some thoughts about this update. Let's have a chat because it's in the community zeitgeist, their full front of their mind as they're talking about stuff.
I thought you were saying full frontal. I'm like, what? Oh,
Forefront,
forefront.
front.
I
Yeah, I
thought you
know.
said full front.
Full frontal. No, we do not want to be
What?
banned or copy struck or whatever. Struck, dumb struck. Um, but yeah, that's a good feature, and you can reset your start time as well, so that people
Oh,
go back and
really?
listen. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So people don't have to listen to all the guff before we actually get into the
Hmm.
content. So with that, so you don't have to listen to all the guff with all the content. Let's guff. Guff. I should probably find a definition from the Urban Dictionary about what guff
I
is.
think you should probably stay away from that
Urban
and
Dictionary?
using any words from there for our show.
Probably. Yeah. Welcome everyone to the 365 Message Center show. We help you plan for change, prevent or fix. Prevent or fix. Potentially. Stay informed and check for updated updates
Hmm.
if delivery timelines change. Daniel, how are you?
I'm doing quite well, Terrell, and I trust that you are doing the same.
I am. Yes, summer's been good to us here. Uh, actually, one thing though, time of airing this. Thoughts and prayers. Heart goes out to Tonga and to affected
Mm-hmm.
families and people there with the volcano that erupted and the tsunami that came through and has done some damage. So
Indeed.
yeah, for those of us who have family, friends, and people there, we thinking of you. Yeah.
Indeed.
Um. So yeah, Daniel, that's been another interesting week. I think things are picking up with updates and
Yeah.
making people aware of change within the Microsoft 365 space. What have you observed around that?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of a lull,
Yeah.
over the change of the year and the holidays, which is kind of expected. But here we are. Things are picking up, and I think those that are looking at some of the updates, the updated messages, will notice that some of the things are being pushed. The timelines, some just a little bit, maybe a couple weeks or so. Others have been updated from
Mm.
September, August
Or June.
to or
That
June,
one.
but just timelines being reevaluated and everything. So just getting kind of, I think, a reset for the year,
Mm.
and we're gonna be rocking and rolling.
Yeah. And we have noticed also a change, a trend, I guess you might say, in uh, how much faith is put in the messages and how to plan ahead. We here at the 365 Message Center show will continue to keep you informed as we find out more.
Indeed. So, speaking of being informed and focusing,
Yes,
did you see how I did that?
I did. It was brilliant. Your segues are always just so artful.
Yes. While Darrell prepares for this first update, make sure that you give us a thumbs up down. When you're on YouTube, go ahead and click the thumbs up. If you're listen to the audio podcast, give us a like on the podcast so that others can find us more easily. That actually does help with the algorithms and such. So please go ahead and give us a like. Subscribe where you are, making sure that you are subscribed and get all of the updates. And then you need to give a little bitty nudge, and don't use your like pointer finger. We're going to use our pinky, and we're going to use it in a way like you're sipping tea, right? You're sipping your afternoon tea. You're going to just nudge that bell on YouTube to give you a reminder of when we go live. And welcome to those that are watching on LinkedIn as well. So first update, sir, is about Focus Plan.
Yeah, it's all about Viva Insights and being able to coordinate our focus. This is MC313659 Shared Focus Plan in Viva Insights. So at Viva Insights, we all get access to a portion of that for free in our personal Viva Insights. We get to create our own focus plan in that experience. But a great feature that's available in the licensed plan for Viva Insights allows managers or team leaders to set up a shared focus plan. And the goal with this is to be able to set up times that you can all as a team focus on work that you need to get done, so that things like team meetings and other coordinated activities that might happen between you all don't override your focus time when you're trying to get work done. So this is a capability where that leader may set up that plan. You can get it to automatically schedule 4 hours of focus time, or up to 4 hours of focus time. It will silence the chats during that time too. So maybe that's a good thing, Daniel, to have across a team, that we have this shared understanding that we're focused and it's not time to chat. Feels like I was going to say
quiet time in school.
Yeah, I was going to say nap time.
Yes, well, I was thinking about this, and it does have some implications. I think for teams that are close geographically, I think would be a little easier than those that are not geographically close. Meaning, how do you find a good focus time for a team that is separated by a few time zones, or maybe halfway around the world? But then also, even if you're in the same location, some people like to have focus time in the morning, afternoon, midday. What does that look like?
I'm a mornings person. I like to get stuff done in the morning.
Right. But, some people, if you give them enough time in the morning to as focus, are they going to actually do work? Or are they going to be too distracted by their cup of coffee and their pastry, down at the local shop, or
something else, Daniel. You and I work in consulting, and there's a fair few of our subscribers and followers that do too. So how do you coordinate a shared focus time across a consulting team that also has to work around time that they are scheduling for client work?
Clients? I don't know, and I feel like this will be much more difficult to do in those kind of situations. Even if you're not in consultancy, maybe in your organization that spans time zones and maybe continents. How are you going to do focus time when you're having to support customers, your internal customers that don't share that same time? But let's not, give all of the exceptions to this. I do believe this will be helpful for some teams, especially for some smaller teams, for some teams to get to find that focus time to get things done.
Well, we'll certainly be interested to hear from people and teams that are going to try this. This is rolling out to targeted release late January, so that's going to be soonish. Standard release, it will begin rolling out February 2022 and be complete mid-March. Daniel, let's move on to your message around OneDrive and something.
OneDrive and something. That
Yeah,
is
no,
not the title.
Not a very artful segue.
Files on Demand refresh for Mac OS MC314.017. And this is a refresh of the OneDrive experience and the OneDrive on Demand experience in Mac OS. So two things really that's going on here. One is the folder locations will be showing up in the file viewer. So when you go to the Finder, so if you go and look, you'll see all the locations in the Finder sidebar, giving you easy access to your OneDrive files. And then the second thing is then the Files on Demand experience will be easier. So that's getting updated to allow easy access. So Darrell, for those watching the video here, you'll see that in the screenshot that is in the message at the bottom, you'll see those on-demand actions. Remember, on-demand means that you can have files that are just pointers on your hard drive and are in the cloud and only are synced down to your machine on demand when you open the file. So this is rolling out mid-January, which is nowish, and will expect to be completed by early February, so it's just a few weeks. Now, this is for devices running 12.1 macOS. You'll receive this update, and just know you can't go back. You know, this is not a. this is the way it's going to be from now on. Don't turn around and look back because you can't.
Once you're in sync, you can't stop.
That's right. Wow.
Not true, but anyway.
No. I was going to. A couple of thoughts came into my head about taking down the rabbit hole there to have some fun, but let's not do that. But anyway, so and then the macOS. Another point for those Mac users out there. I know there's a few of you. There's not a whole lot, but you're a very vocal group, so I will let you know also that macOS 12.2 will be the last version that supports that classic Files on Demand and not this new version of the way it works. Okay. And there's a blog post there at the end. This is actually one of the nicer messages that actually includes some nice links to some supporting material.
Always helpful. It is a combined blog post. You'll find other things there, but it does go into a little more detail.
So I think we need to revamp some things in Yammer. Darrell, how about you talking to us about doing that?
Well, I think one certain area that is going to get that attention is the Yammer profile page.
Indeed.
Well, I mean, we all want to be able to represent ourselves in a clearer fashion and find good, useful information on profile pages.
Yes.
So this is a message MC314015. So when this rolls out, we'll be able to change a cover photo. So that, I mean, might not seem like a big deal to you, but it does make it feel more social. Being able to do that in Twitter, Facebook, all sorts of other places to be able to represent ourselves and change a bit more. So it gives a bit of opportunity to have some personality there. But another good thing about it is it'll list the people that follow you and the communities that you belong to on the profile. So, sorry, speaking from the perspective of my profile page. If I was to visit Daniel's profile page, I'll see people that follow him, communities that he belongs to. And so those two things might clue us into the things that we have in common, the connections, and that, or maybe that I'm deciding whether should I follow Daniel or not. Yeah, it looks like we have common interests, so I'll do that.
It seems like Microsoft's social network is getting more social.
More social, yeah. Good to see. It does mention something about and other improvements, among other improvements. So it's that's the other one there. Um, Latest activity from that person across the Yammer network. Right, so you will see. A bit, does it start to sound like a bit like LinkedIn, where you can go to your profile and see latest activity and things like that? Um, so that is beginning to roll out mid-January. Can't say that I checked before this recording. Maybe it's there. Maybe it'll be there next week. But apparently, there's nothing you need to do. It's just going to appear, and it'll just be something that improves the experience. Daniel, moving on to something to do with iOS users.
Did I step in something? Or
Oh,
okay, gotcha. Like, ew.
no, that's
Yes.
something different. Excuse me.
Yes, this is updated companion mode for iOS users. MC314286, and you have no idea, just reading that title, that this actually has to do with Teams. So this is rolling out late January, finishing early February. That's the expected rollout. So what this is all about is when you join a meeting inside of a meeting room with a Microsoft Teams room device. Okay, we're walking into a conference room. There's a Microsoft Teams device. It's all set up. You can join the meeting as that device, right? I think we all get that. But you can also join the meeting while you're in that room via your iPhone, iOS. And so what happens in that experience? Well, what it's going to do, it's a little better experience to where it's automatically going to turn off audio. So there's no echoing and stuff. Yay. But it's also going to give you easier access to those engagement items in the Teams meeting. So raising your hand, reactions to what's being said, chat, being able to see who are the participants in the meeting. All of those things are going to be easy to get to, just think, larger, easier access, just because that's what you're focusing on. You're able to see the meeting, participates, all of that, as far as seeing what's being presented and talk using the device rather than your phone. You can also, as a user, be able to scroll down from the top, and you'll be able to actually participate in the meeting or see what's shared, all that kind of stuff like normal Teams if you want to. But this will be new user interface when you join as that that companion mode.
I think it's good because much like we might have a conference and a session that people come into, and if you've planned some kind of interactivity, sometimes you can ask people to vote or to add something to a word cloud. And so it's good that if someone comes along to a meeting and all they've brought is their device and they're ready to just focus, but they want to be able to interact and have that way of expressing themselves for that hybrid way of working, to be able to connect with people that are also attending online, then this is a good way to do it.
Yeah, just think you can chat, answer questions in chat, while you're sitting there and people are asking questions in chat, so it can be a useful experience.
Yeah.
What you don't want to do in your meeting is use a walkie-talkie feature in Teams, because then that'll be interrupting the meeting. Don't you think, Darrell?
Yes, over. It will be over. Yeah, squelch. No. Walkie-talkie. You're getting better with your segues even more. Walkie-talkie is on iOS, generally available. MC314287. This feature's been around for a little while. It came out on Android to begin with, and that was great, being able to experiment with that. There were various different devices that supported it, and headsets and specific Android phones with dedicated buttons to do push to talk. But now it's available generally on iPhones. It's interesting, the messages here in the message center for January 14th, but our team saw it arrive last year. And, in practice, it's a interesting kind of feature. think of it as, and I know this is a bit of a recap, but think of it as that you belong to a team and maybe you agree to use a certain channel to tune into. And think of channels as in teams. We might have one for just general awareness. Actually, it could be any channel, to be honest. But you're connecting to it, and it's running something of an online meeting call in the background, where you're all muted, and then as you're hitting this button, then you're speaking, and of course, only one person can speak at a time. So yeah, kind of useful. And how our team were trying to use it, just as an experiment, was to feel like we're still connected with our team members as we're working remotely in our locked down state. So we could just tap this button and say how things are going, and everyone who was connected to that channel within the walkie-talkie thing could hear that, and they could sort of pass around
Well,
info and jokes and stuff.
but you also get that benefit of not having to go, log into your device, bring up the Teams app, go into the chat and type out because you can do this without unlocking your device, right? Yep. It has that functionality, so you can respond and communicate without having to go through all of that. I think that for me is a big benefit. So I don't have to, and your use case I think is a fun one. But think about those people who use their hands, are interacting with people, are busy, physically doing something maybe too, and they hear something. Hey, has anyone seen so-and-so? Yes, I see them right there. They're on the blah, 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 blah. Put it back in your pocket and keep going instead of having to log in and blah, blah, so much easier. So, there's, will this be for every business? No, but I think it's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah, it's certainly a good tool for frontline workers, for event management, for clean up on aisle 5, that sort of thing, and just general awareness.
Why is it always aisle 5? Here's what I suggest, is that grocery stores and other stores, they just don't put any liquid whatsoever on aisle 5. It fixes it.
That's true. That's true.
I'm done.
Put all the potato chips and chocolate there. That's it.
I mean, come on, people. All right.
Let's just a couple of quick mentions, aren't there? There's this one.
So the first one,
Daniel.
First one is, this one's kind of a fun one. This is OneDrive and SharePoint. I'm not going to know I don't know how people pronounce this. HEIC file support.
I don't think you're supposed to say it as a word. It's an acronym.
HVC, good, because I don't know how to say it. MC314016. So these are those high efficiency image formats. So if you have a iOS device that's a latest version, or maybe not even latest, it's been there for a little while, your photos that you take default on those devices are this file type. What you're going to be able to do now is edit these files that are stored in OneDrive and SharePoint. So think about, these files have been synced. You remember you can use the OneDrive app on your phone to sync all your photos, or if you manually uploaded these photos, and you're going to be able to edit them. And this is rolling out mid-January, so now-ish, and the hope is late January be finished. The only caveat to this is to remember, so you're going to be able to flip and do all of the various changes, cropping and highlighting, and Darrell's showing the message has some really good screenshots of what you're going to be able to do here. So you're going to be able to do all of that, but you're not actually editing the file, the HEIC file. You're taking really a copy of it and saving it as a JPEG when you save the changes you make. So that's the only caveat. That, to me, actually, I'm okay with that because I'm not losing that higher quality image.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, but you just need to know that once you start doing this and saving and everything, you're going to start, seeing a bunch of JPEGs and duplicates.
Like, it makes sense too from a sharing perspective, because there's more devices that can read and view JPEGs and not HEICs and HEICs.
So,
Sorry.
speaking of topics and editing, I don't know, that was a bad
No,
transition.
that wasn't smooth.
That wasn't smooth at all.
Yeah, let's finish on this one, Daniel.
Let's do it.
The Yammer topics that we've been able to create for different conversations. Topic creators will now be able to edit and name descriptions of topics. Edit the name and the description of the topic. That's MC313292. What does that mean when we were creating these topics beforehand? It meant that we could misspell them. It meant that we could maybe have a product name that might change or a project name that might change. And so you were adding these topics to your posts. And remember, let's just do a small recap here. What used to be the case, you used to have a hashtag, which was also the topic. And a little while back, to align with Viva topics and make things easier to find, you still have a hashtag, so you can put that in your message. But a topic is something separate, and you add it to your message to or your conversation to be able to make it easier to find across Viva topics. Now you can edit them if you need to change that and the description, which is great. It certainly needed. It will help all the people who, spelling and grammar people that just really irks them. Oh, you've got to change it. I'm sorry, I can't. Well, now you can. No excuses. Go back in and change it. That's begin to roll out now and expect to be complete late January. Fingers crossed.
Fantastic.
That would be the case. That is it, man. That is it.
I think
Yes, it is.
we hit the really important ones. Yes, there was a lot of updates. So if you are tracking and you're the change agent in your organization or one of them, and you're letting people know that things are coming and when they're coming, make sure you're checking in, because there are some that were updated and changed when the rollouts were happening. So make sure you're following those. Of course, make sure you're following the show and sharing the show with all of your contacts so that we can all stay up to date. Thank you for everyone, for joining in the chat today and for joining live. Really appreciate that. We make sure you follow us on socials. So 365MCS is where we are on Twitter and Insta and all the rest. And, make sure you're giving us that thumbs up on this episode.
So we look forward to the next episode and having a good conversation with you, maybe in between via socials, about change and what's happening in Microsoft 365. See you again next time.
Bye-bye.